Were you successful? Let's try this together. I'll add a new hook for this, a new file, sort.js, and I'll export a function, useSort, sounds like a fitting name, which in the end should later replace this sorting functionality. So this sorting ref, this computed property, and this function. Therefore, we can grab all of that, cut it here in user list, and actually move it over into this newly created useSort function. Now here I'm using a computed property and ref, so we should import ref and computed from view, so that these features are available. I'm also relying on available items.value, and therefore this should be an input, a parameter in this function. So I will accept available items here as a parameter. I'm also relying on full name for the comparison which item should come first. And that's of course very specific to users. Now here we're only using the sort functionality for the users, so we could leave it like this. But if we wanted a more generic sorting functionality, a more generic useSort hook, we might want to accept a dynamic value here, so that the sort property is another parameter we get, and here we then access this dynamic value so that any property name can be passed in from outside, like this. With that, however, we should be fine. And now we can again return our data and functions and so on from inside the useSort function to the places where we're going to call it. So here I want to return displayed users and sort, displayed users and sort, so that we can go back to user list and use that data there. I see in user list I'm also exposing sorting to my template, so therefore in useSort we should also return this sorting ref so that we have it available in the setup method of the user list component. And then here in the user list component we can import useSort from hooks sort.js and now call useSort here. And to useSort, I want to forward my available items. So the available items I'm getting here from useSearch. This is a ref, a read-only ref, if you remember. So I'm forwarding this to useSort now. And I also pass in this property on which we want to sort, which here is the full name. And we get back an object which we can destructure, where we will receive these three properties. So I'm copying them here, putting them in here, reformatting this, and now we have a sorting const, a displayed users const, and a sort const available here. Sort will be this sort function. It will point at this sort function, which we define here in useSort and return in here. And displayed users will be the displayed users computed property, and therefore a read-only ref. And sorting is our regular ref, which we define up here in useSort. So now we're forwarding sorting and sort to the template and displayed users as well. If we now save this, I'm getting an error that I'm still importing some things which I'm not needing anymore in the userlist.view file, because we're not defining any refs or computed properties anymore. So we can remove these two imports and just continue importing two refs because I'm still using that. With that, it compiles though, and I can see the app here, and sorting seems to work just as before. So if I give this a try, yeah, that seems to work. And with that, we now also would have a reusable useSort hook. Now, the goal with the composition API is not that you always need to outsource all your setup logic into separate hooks. Here, we're just doing this for practice purposes. It would be absolutely fine if you have some refs and computed properties and so on left in this setup method. Here, it just turns out that we just have these two main functionalities, which are now outsourced and which should now be usable in any component here which needs searching or sorting functionality. And that's the great advantage of the composition API, especially once you know about custom hooks. Because now we have a lean component here, we got reusable functionality, and that really allows us to build super huge components which are still maintainable.